Alright, so I'm going to take a little bit of time to hopefully explain this. Alright, so normal space looks like this. This is what we nowadays think of and perceive space as time. So what I'm going to go ahead and say this is time is energy and energy is time. So when you think of the universe, you should think that the universe is time, not energy. You shouldn't even think of it as energy. You should think of space as just like a picture where there is absolutely no potential until there is interaction, and that would be your point of measurement. All right. So this is space. Now, occasionally there are waves in space, and these waves are perceived as virtual particles. So if space suddenly, like all of a sudden, a bubble pops up out of the water, and we see a bubble at the surface of the water, that's a virtual particle. So right here, so that's the virtual particle. All right. So you see this quenching of space, and then it pulls down. So if you have a pole and you push that pole, so when the bubble disappears, there's a wake, and then that wake comes out back here. That is a warp field. So you take a virtual particle, you you pull apart, or you reflect it, so it's collapsing. The virtual particle space is pointing inward, and then all virtual particles want to just move towards this space. Space is bent this way, so they want to interact more inside here because that's where there is more space. That's where you increase the distance. So the virtual particles suddenly want to happen more inside here. So by creating this field here, this inward field, this inward flux, and by expanding space back here, you create a warp field that's similar to a jet engine, where the air is coming in and it's coming out and expanding. But this is not a warp field, but I believe that this field would create motion, and this field would also create motion, but this is a warp field. The idea of the warp field is that at the back you have a quenching of space, and then towards the front you have an expansion of space, and then you sit in here. So you're the middle guy. I can't even see anything because it's blur. You can't even see green on here apparently. Well, it's green. Well, anyways, you're inside here, and because you're inside here, there is something that happens. So what actually happens inside here is this right here, where distance is changed. So you're inside a warp field, and I'm gonna say the speed of light is like a wave, right? And then once you get to a certain peak, and then like your wave can't go any higher than that. So what the warp field allows you to do is make the wave go the other way. Alright, so another warp field inside a warp field allows you to go the other way, and then so on and so forth. So a warp field within a warp field within a warp field allows you to, warp 10. So that's the idea. It's like thinking of space as a wake, and the wake will only let you go so high, and then after that you can go the other way, and it's not time travel. So another thing that I'm looking at is you can't time travel. It's like it's that wake, and you can go down and forth, but it's like throwing everything out and watching it in a movie and then make it all go backwards and saying that's time travel, but you know, you're making everything go in reverse. It's not time travel, it's just that's the way that things are going. It's like a chemical reaction in play. We're not changing that. We're only this paper. We have no correlation to anything except our drawing of us, our motion. So we have no control over this. There is no time travel. We have no control over that. You can't, because this is our universe and that's their universe. And whatever we do, they do. Whatever they do, we do. And that's where all this comes from. This virtual particle stuff. That's because this happens over here, which interacts over here. So the bubble coming up out of the water came from there, and then when it disappears, it goes there. So it's like a guitar string flinging between our universes. So we have no control over that, and that's how the warp drive works.